We're deep enough into the season that we can start to have conversations about how people have played, who's got to be better, because SEC play is almost here and it's going to be tough. We're going to really focus on Amari Williams today, and that is going to be the conversation on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by Carson Nash, who is a little fired up because, I mean, it's not often, Carson, you get to drink Sprites on a Tuesday. Agree, disagree?
Yeah, no, the New Year's is coming up, so, we'll be indulging in some grape juice at midnight. So really fired up for that. And the Cats also play Brown tomorrow at 2:00.
Yeah, that's going to be so weird. I'm going to get up and get all my work done and leave for Rupp Arena at 11:30. Normally the games are well, it'll be even weirder. We'll be we play freaking Florida at 11. So I'm going to be waking up Saturday morning, going to Rupp Arena at 9 in the morning. It'll be weird. But it's exciting stuff. Hey, at least we have basketball. I've missed basketball. It feels like it's not even a thing anymore. But Carson, Amari Williams, I've seen a lot of people saying some negative things about Amari Williams and a lot of folks saying some positive things. We're going to argue both points and try and find some common ground for all arguments. That's what we're going to talk about today. So Carson, give me your quick hit positive and negative thoughts on Amari Williams as we're 12 games into the year so far.
Negative, I think he's not playing as physical as he should. I think he doesn't put his hands up as much as he should on defense. He's good about being patient on the defensive end, but it's also his kryptonite at the same time. So he doesn't pick up a lot of dumb fouls, but at the same time, he doesn't contest when they first go up with a layup, which leads to a lot of easy points. Yeah. Those are my negatives. My positives are his rebounding, and his passing to me is a positive still, even though he turns the ball over a bunch. I think his passing is definitely a positive. His dribbling is the negative. He needs to stop dribbling. But those are my quick hit thoughts on Amari and where he's at right now.
So for me, I think the evolutions to the game of basketball, which we all love so much, have been positive and they've been negative. So my thoughts on that, what I mean by that is sometimes I think that we pretend like there are some, 7-footers who are point guards. That's just not a thing. Now, I want to argue what I mean by that. I'm not
It's one's birthday today.
Huh?
Said it's one's birthday today.
LeBron?
Yeah.
LeBron is 6'7".
He's 6'9", and every bit of it. Dude, he's a tank.
I thought LeBron was 6'7". Is he really 6'9"? He is 6'9". I'm an MBK. I'm balling over. But happy birthday to LeBron. Shout out. I mean, obviously,
he watches.
Yeah, he does. So shout out, don't forget, for one of our early subscribers, Jones, to the show. But and I know that our offense runs through the big guy. So just here's my thoughts on it. If you watch the Ali Khalifa from last year, if you watch his film, it was a lot more your big guy running the point, but still being smart with the basketball and fluid. Amari Williams, I think, in trying to do that same thing, tries to do too much. You know what I mean?
Here's my thoughts on that real quick, because I love that point, by the way. But I think here's where it is. So Ali Khalifa, he had the touch. He had the touch around the rim. He could shoot threes, that sort of thing. But he didn't have Amari Williams physicality-wise.
Yes.
He wasn't any bit of Amari Williams. So I think there's definitely a difference there, because I think the touch that Ali Khalifa had helped him in certain scenarios where maybe Amari doesn't have the same touch.
But I think that, to me, the word you're using for touch, I agree with you fully. But I think it's almost just basketball IQ at times. Now, touch around the rim is different from what I'm talking about.
Touch and IQ for me kind of go along the similar line.
The touch that I'm talking about is that you just don't miss inside 2 feet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah,
Andrew,
I know. Yeah.
Andrew Carr has that
Yeah.
and some.
Mm-hmm.
My issue with Amari is when he tries to be, the job. I mean, is
maybe I should have said finesse. That's a better word.
That's
finesse.
Fair. I think touch is a fine word too. But if you just watch the film, seriously, if y'all want to know what we're talking about, go watch Ali Khalifa's highlight tape last year at BYU. He stands up there at the top of the key and he holds the ball and he finds a way to move it. He'll find something to do with the ball, create a positive play for his team. I think Amari Williams at times has proven in the turnovers back to statement has made the wrong decision at times. He's also made some passes where you just drop your jaw. So there are positives and negatives to both sides of this argument. That's why we wanted to share our thoughts and we want to know what y'all have to say about this. Leave it in the comments. Y'all's thoughts on Amari Williams. I've seen a lot of positivity and a lot of negativity on Amari Williams on social media in our comments. So that's my issue with him is I think he just tries to do too much on the offensive end. When it comes to, running the offense through him, I think he tries to do too much. That's my issue there. I have more issues defensively, in all honesty, than I do offensively. I mean, the whole defending with his arms down, it's funny. I watched back games to see that. I watched back. I was like, oh man. So
no, I know it's bad because I noticed it during the game. So it has to be bad for you to notice it during.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just a weird. I mean, you are 7 foot tall with a wingspan
and easily the biggest player on the court, by a mile.
His wingspan's almost 8 feet. I mean, you put those arms up in the air when you're defending, you're gonna make things harder. You're gonna make it harder on your defender.
And here's my thing:
willing to jump.
My thing is, I think you have a fine enough backup to where if you get fouls that you'd be fine. Because I think Brandon Garrison provides enough spark off the bench and does enough good things that even if Amari picks up 2 fouls for jumping and trying to block a shot, that Brandon's going to come in and be able to back him up. And if not, you go to a 5 lineup with Andrew Carr. And then, you have options. So I think the defense needs to ramp up a little bit. Quit being afraid of picking up fouls and start playing a little more crazy. And that's a good word.
Yeah. But, I'll tell you what, there's one move in basketball that would absolutely dominate Amari Williams if you watch film. And I call it the Connor Hall because the once every 40 times he scores on me, it's this exact move. Because he loves to bump you. Our buddy Connor likes to bump you down. He's about my height. He's a tall guy. He likes to bump you down low. But then every once in a while, you kind of brace for impact and get ready for him to bump you, and it'll just go right up, boom, right up with it. Without doing that, that move would work every single time on Amari Williams. If you just, get the ball and go straight up with it and don't think about bumping him. If he doesn't have his arms up and he isn't jumping, it's a wide open.
And Ohio State did that every time. Yeah. If you watch, they bump him in the back. If they're ahead of him, they slow him down with their back and go right up.
And before, because before he can jump or before he can do anything, that's the issue. So he's got to start defending better. And I mean, he's a defensive player of the year multiple times in his conference, which is why it's been so surprising to me. And the funniest part about this whole argument, Carson, the analytics love him. The analytics love Amari Williams.
They love him.
And
it's because of his rebounding.
Yeah, that's a good point too. But we talked about Trouble with the Curve. I mean, if you haven't seen Trouble with the Curve, great movie. But I mean, the guy could somehow hear the curveball. I still don't understand that principle, but cool, whatever. Good movie, but that's the kind of the point. Is I don't think analytics are everything. And I mean, he hasn't. I'm not saying Amari Williams has been bad. I just don't think he's been great. I think he's been okay to good.
Well, the problem for me is I don't think he's been bad either. I just think he's lacking in aspects that we probably thought he would be ahead of where he is right now.
Yeah, it's funny. The issues I were concerned about was going to be his offensive output and rebounding. And points per game and rebounding have been pretty darn good.
Yeah.
The issues for him have been stopping on the defensive side of the floor and turning the ball over. I mean, those were things I weren't too worried about heading into the year. So, I guess my last question about Amari, and once again, we're not trying to bash Amari.
In my opinion, okay, so he averages 1.6 blocks a game, which is okay.
Around a career high. I think it was 1.8 was a career high.
I think he could get that up to like 2.3. I mean, I have no doubts in him being able to get that number up.
It would help a lot if you.
Yeah.
Plus
that creates runouts for us on the offensive end. We only scored 65 points against Ohio State. Like a couple of those would have been nice.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. So we're not trying to bash Amari Williams. That's not the goal, because I think he's one of the most important parts.
He's the key to a championship for us, in my opinion. Like, he is the guy. Like, he has to take the next step.
So I think the question is, we're not trying to bash him. I mean, I think that he's been fine. I just think that there's little fixes to make him great. That's the reason I'm bringing it up, as if, I think that there's a few things he could do that wouldn't be, and these aren't life-changing, life-altering changes we're asking him to make. We're saying, hey, like, these aren't hard fixes.
Wasn't it who was it? DJ Khaled who said that? Put your hands up and stay down.
Hold on.
You know that song?
Oh, that is DJ Khaled. I was about to say you're a non-party.
I know music.
You do know. Best on aux in the United States is Carson Nash at a party. I make fun of you a lot, and you deserve it, but you are damn good at that. I will forever have your back on that.
I appreciate that.
But so what would you, last question, and we're talking a little bit about Brown. What would you, if you had 1 minute to talk to Amari and and discuss thoughts to work on, what would you say to him?
I'd say anything that you would say to Bruce Banner to get the Incredible Hulk to come out of his body.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I would say to Amari Williams, because he's there. Yeah. It just, you have to have that fire, Yeah. He needs to shoulder check someone, dunk it right over top of him, wait till the guard comes down and pin him off the backboard, because he's that athletic. He has it in his body to do that. Yeah.
So what I would say to him is, remember what happened when Crash Daniel, whatever the guy's name, Crash Powers.
Yeah.
Remember how you went on like a personal 10-0 run?
Mm-hmm.
I get really frustrated when I watch Amari do something awesome. And then I go, why aren't we doing that the whole time?
Yeah.
And I understand there's adjustments, there's this, there's that, but there's a lot that he's doing. He does, and it's funny because he has this, his post move is my post move. On your back, spin, left hand, try to make a layup. I make it 1 out of 50 times. It is so hard to make that shot. And he takes that shot all the time, and he misses it a lot. And he actually kind of works himself further away from the rim than you would like, to where it's almost like a turnaround off the backboard jump shot. Mm-hmm. I would say he's probably shot that shot 15 times this year and made it twice or something. Like,
I don't know why he doesn't start on the right. Well, it would be, if you're looking at it from the top of the key, it'd be the right block. I don't know why he doesn't start on that block and then body check with his right shoulder and go up over top with his left.
Or you come back around the other way.
Yeah.
Almost knocked over my thing. Doing my thing.
Yeah.
But I agree. So I think there was, the point of this is, we're not trying to bash Amari. He's going to be a massive part of this team's success, positive or negative. And I just think that it's frustrating because he's so close on so many deals. And like I said, some people might say, y'all are crazy. The analytics love him. We know that. We understand that. But there's just a few things he could do for the analytics to be like.
Yeah, it's the stuff that doesn't show up on the analytics is what he needs to get better at, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah, because physicality is not an analytic. Unless it is. If it is, tell me. Because Lane Kiffin would want to know. So, quick hit thoughts on Brown. I've got a stat from our buddy Wyatt Huff. He's one of my writers. I can think of what gets on the side. He's the GOAT. So he's tweeted that Keno Lilly Jr., who is Brown's leading scorer, he averages 20 per game, and he's the school's all-time leader in threes, 258 makes in his career, and he's 43 points away from being the second all-time scorer in Brown history. And then lastly, Their forward, Aaron Cooley, has scored in double figures 9 of the 11 games, including 3 double-doubles. Leads the Ivy League in defensive rebounds per game at 5.8. That seems really low for a leader in defensive rebounds per game. But thoughts on Brown Carson?
Yeah, I mean, did that not sound exactly like the pregame that we had right before Oakland?
Nope. Don't. I knew it was. But by the way, Oakland has a big game tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Side note: you might want to tune in tonight because Oakland plays against Arkansas.
That would be really funny, man. And I'm not trying to be the person that roots against Cal, but that would be funny.
That would just be like, yeah. I don't even know. That would
be really funny.
But it's not the same Oakland team. They're like 4-8, I think.
And Golke's gone. I mean,
yeah, Golke's gone.
But I'm just telling you,
Golke needs to go to that game.
Yes, that'd be freaking hilarious. All right, but what did we say, Carson, about this Lily kid before we started press record? What did we say? Both of us agreed.
We said he's a rup killer. He's
a rup arena warrior.
Yeah, I don't know if you all remember the guy by the name of Stefan Moody. He played for Ole Miss back in the day. Really random player, but he absolutely destroyed at Rupp Arena. I mean, he lit us up every time he would come in. This kid reminds me of something like that because he just has that spark in him. And yeah, kind of like a Golke where they can kind of just take over the game by themselves. So can't let that happen. That cannot let that happen.
He's going to shoot a lot. And I think he's going to make some. But I tell you what, want to know why I'm not worried?
Lamont Butler.
Well, partially, but but this is the type of kid I don't think Lamont Butler matters because he's going to throw it. He's going to do a 360, close his eyes, and shoot 4, and they're going to go in. He just has that written. This kid's going to make 4 or 5 3-pointers. Problem is, I think that's about it. Now, do you want to know why I'm not concerned about this game?
Why?
Because Mark Pope had to sit down for, I believe it was 10-ish days. 10 days?
10-ish days, yeah.
After a 20-point loss to a team that we are infinitely better than, I think we win by 30 or 40 points. I think that there was a lot of pissed off people in that Kentucky locker room, and they are going, unfortunately, to have to prove that to Brown on Saturday or on whatever day or Tuesday.
It's going to be a code Brown for Brown.
Oh man, code Brown. So Carson, give me a score prediction. Give me an MVP for the Cats.
I'm going to go. I think our offense finally starts to turn it around a little bit. I think we're going to hit our shots because it's not going to be as physical of a game, so we'll be more open.
Yeah.
I think we get over 100 in this one. I think we do. I know they do like to slow it down. I mean, they only average 72 points a game.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be able to speed them up. I think you're right. I think Pope has fire. I think it's going to be proving a point. I think we're going to get to 100 because we're proving that point. Yeah. And so I think it'll be 102 to – I think it's a blowout. I think it's 102 to 69.
Be pretty nice.
Yeah.
But for me, you want to play well in this game because you also want to just feel good going into this big game against Florida, which I can't wait. Carson, we'll do a show on Wednesday. We'll preview Florida on Friday, but on Wednesday, we're going to preview the whole SEC. So we got a fun week here on the show.
You'll be at Rupp at 9. I'll be at McCarthy's at 9.
Yeah. I thought you were going to the game.
I am going to the game after McCarthy's. Game's at 11.
Oh, well. But so I think that we get some momentum heading into that Florida game. I think we win this one 94-64. I think that we're going to see a big Kobe Bryant game. I think he's going to have 15, 18 in this game. So, Carson, any other?
Oh, I didn't give an MVP, did I?
No, you did not.
Well, Otega is going to go for over 20 and dominate this game.
Okay, well, bet it. There you go. Bet it. You heard it here first.
Bet it. Mark it down.
Otega 20, Brea 15, Kentucky to cover. Maybe bet it down like 5 points, whatever the spread ends up being. And thank us later. You're welcome. I'm just kidding. But if you haven't already, we got a lot of fun stuff, ladies and gentlemen, coming up this week. Hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss any of it. On Wednesday, it'll be a long one, so pack it in, pop your popcorn, go get your Sprites, adult or child Sprite, or whichever one's fine. We are pro both, personally. I prefer Diet Coke, but fan of a Sprite too. So we will preview the entire SEC slate for the Cats, all 18 games, win-loss predictions, give our, we're going to really dive deep into the schedule. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then on Friday, we're going to preview those silly, dumb Gators. That'll be the show. Appreciate y'all being here. Have a great rest of your day today. Have a happy, happy New Year. We'll see y'all on Wednesday right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.